Hey everybody! So they have a new movie coming out. I've heard about it a while ago. It's called Death House, and the idea was when the Expendables came out that they were going to do a horror movie that was kind of the horror movie version of the Expendables, where they get a bunch of old horror icons and actors together to do a new horror movie. And I thought it was a great idea. You know, I want to see all my guys come back. They kind of did that in 1997 with a movie called Wishmaster, where they had brought back Robert Englund, who played Freddy, Kane Hodder, who was Jason in 4 of the Jason movies, and Tony Todd, who played Candyman, and they all died by the Wishmaster, which I thought that was pretty cool. So, and I liked that movie. So having a lot of these horror icons come back together to do another movie called Death House, and we're going to do a reaction video for the Redband trailer that just came out. But check out some of the names of the people that are going to be in Death House. Unfortunately, Robert Englund, who played Freddy, is not in it. That makes me sad. But we've got, it's narrated by Adrienne Barbeau, who she was in many of the John Carpenter movies, like The Fog. And Tony Todd, who played Candyman. Sid Haig, who was the clown in House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects. And he's also popped up in a lot of other movies, that, especially movies directed by Rob Zombie. Dee Wallace, who plays a mother in a lot of the horror movies and other things. She was in E.T., Cujo, The Howling, Critters. Michael Berryman, who was also in The Devil's Rejects and basically everything else. The dude's a character actor. He's been in just about every horror movie. Kane Hodder, who was Jason in Friday the 13th, Parts 7 and 8, Jason Goes to Hell, and Jason X. He played Jason more than any other actor. Bill Moseley, who played... He's in a lot of stuff, too. He was Otis in both House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects. He played the Deadite captain in Army of Darkness. He played one of the crazy family members in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. He was even in the new Halloween movie. He also does a lot of movies with Rob Zombie. Barbara Crampton, who was in Reanimator and From Beyond. Those are 90s horror movies. Tony Moran, who was the original Michael Myers from the first John Carpenter Halloween movie. That was the only time he played Michael Myers. And he was also in Poltergeist. Plus there's a bunch of other character actors that some were in some horror movies, but they're in a lot of stuff, like Sean Whalen, who shows up in a lot of movies. He was in like Men in Black, Twister, but he always plays, he's a great character actor. He always plays a interesting side character. And they have a bunch of those. So it's full of great character actors and actors from smaller horror movies. It just sounds like it's going to be cool. So let's watch. This is the Redband trailer, so there might be cussing and violence and whatever else, nudity, I don't know. But since it's a Redband trailer, it's basically an R-rated trailer. So let's check out Death House Redband trailer and see how they organize and fit in all of these actors. From the poster and what I saw in the first still, it looks like Kane Hodder, the guy who played Jason, is going to be showcased a lot. He might be one of the main characters, I don't know. But he always looks intimidating, so they end up putting him on the poster. Because he's a big guy. It's Jason, for God's sake. So let's check out Death House.
The Death House, established in 1954 under the Eisenhower administration, serves as a federal maximum security prison, medical, psychological, and parapsychological research center.
That's a perfect setup for all those
Meet your fellow
characters.
graduate, Agent Toria Boone.
Welcome to Death House. Does it live up to what you study?
Ask me again in 12 hours.
Some are dosed with just LSD, while others are subjected to electroshock, sensory deprivation, all to break down the subject's personality.
They've got some surprises waiting for you and your girl here.
Yeah.
Our goal
Sid Haig.
is to eradicate evil.
I will fuck you in hell.
There's Kane
Did
Hodder.
Zeke ever mention Death House to you? Ever any talk of the five evils?
I know this house is insane, and I know that you have to be careful.
It's Jason.
Don't you have something special lined up to kill everybody inside this hellhole?
Tell me you're both armed.
What about the five evils?
Curly Todd.
You know something?
I know everything, Novak.
We gotta find a way up.
I am immortal.
Looks like a great
get out of here.
80s, 90s horror movie.
I will follow you to hell. The way out is not that way. It's down to them. With me.
We forgot to close the elevator shaft.
Nice. Awesome. Okay, so it looks like a horror movie from, you know, the 80s and early 90s. They're going for that feel. You have the music, the lighting, the way the camera works, the acting, even the storyline, the plot of the psych ward and everything like that feels totally like an 80s and 90s horror movie. They're really going back to that. And I like that. If you're going to be bringing in all of these actors from these early to mid, from 80s to 90s, if you're bringing in all these actors from those movies and you're selling us on the idea of a horror movie with all of these people in it, it should look like that. So I'm happy. I mean, is it going to be a great movie? Probably not, you know, but it will feed all of my old horror movie nostalgia and make me happy. And I get to see all of my favorite horror icons, minus a couple. I would love to see, you know, Pinhead and Freddy in there, but hey, we got a lot. We got a lot in there. And the psych ward idea is a great idea. It's a great way of getting a lot of characters in one place, and it actually makes sense. Instead of having one killer like a slasher movie and then trying to fit everybody else in there, which is kind of what Wishmaster did, except they only got 3 of the icons. They got Freddy, Jason, and Candyman in there. This one, they've got a bunch. They've got a whole bunch of not only main actors, but character actors from a lot of horror movies from the 70s through the 90s, and even to today. Some of them are still working. So I want to see it. You know, I'll watch it. Probably will be on DVD in the next couple of months. Probably around Halloween is what I'm assuming, but maybe in November. Anyway, what did you guys think? Do you like the old horror movies from the 80s and 90s, late 70s? Comment below and let me know what you thought. Also, you can check out my Patreon, my social media links, and the mailbox to mail me stuff. And I'm selling t-shirts now. Koricon Nala said I'm awesome. Because if you buy a shirt where you're a fan of me, you are awesome, automatically. So, go ahead and check that out. The link for that is in the description below as well. Like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends. And I will see you on the next video.